The war had been going on for so long that people stopped counting the years. Cities were no longer places of life, but of ruins. Roads remembered more boots than footsteps, and the sky had forgotten what silence felt like. In a small European town, nearly erased from maps, there stood an old stone bell tower. Its bell had not rung since the first bombs fell. People believed if it rang again, it would mean one of two things. The war had ended, or something terrible had begun. Elias was only 14 years old when the war took his father. His father had been a schoolteacher, not a soldier. But war does not ask who you are. One morning, soldiers came. They handed his father a paper and a uniform that did not fit his body or his soul. His father hugged Elias, placed a hand on his head, and said quietly, "Listen more than you speak, and survive." That was the last time Elias saw him alive. Years passed like shadows. Food became memories. Laughter became rare. Elias and his mother lived in the basement of their broken house. Every night, the sound of artillery shook the ground. Every morning, they checked if the town still existed. Elias grew older, too fast. One winter evening, enemy troops marched into the town. Their boots echoed through empty streets. People hid behind walls, behind fear. Elias watched from a cracked window as soldiers occupied buildings and set up guns near the bell tower. That tower became a symbol of control. No one was allowed near it. Weeks later, whispers spread. Another battle was coming. A final one. One night, as snow fell like ash, Elias overheard two wounded soldiers talking. They spoke of a planned attack at dawn. Tanks, bombardment, total destruction. Elias understood one thing clearly. If the attack happened, the town would be gone. Everyone still hiding would die. There was only one way to warn them: the bell. But the bell tower was guarded. That night, Elias did not sleep. He remembered his father's words, "Listen more than you speak." He listened to the rhythm of patrols, to the wind, to fear itself. Before dawn, while snow covered his footprints, Elias left the basement. His mother slept, unaware that her son was about to become a part of history. He moved through narrow alleys, avoiding moonlight. His heart pounded louder than gunfire. When he reached the tower, he waited. A guard walked away to warm his hands by a fire. Elias ran. The tower door was locked, but age had weakened it. He forced it open and climbed the stairs, step by step, breath by breath. Each second felt stolen. When he reached the top, the bell stood before him, cold, massive, silent. For a moment, Elias hesitated. If he rang it, soldiers would come. If he didn't, the town would die. He pulled the rope. The sound shattered the night. The bell rang once, then again, then again. Lights turned on. Shouts filled the air. Gunfire erupted below. But something else happened too. Doors opened. Families ran. People fled toward the forest, toward the hills, anywhere but the town. Elias rang until his hands bled. A bullet struck the bell tower wall, then another. Elias fell. When the sun rose, the town burned. Tanks rolled through empty streets. The attack came, but most people were gone. The bell tower stood damaged, silent once more. After the war ended, survivors returned. They rebuilt what they could. Names were carved into stone for those who never came back. One name was carved near the bell tower, Elias Hartman. He rang so others could live. Years later, children played near the tower. When they asked why the bell never rang again, elders told them the story of a boy who listened, who chose courage over fear, and who reminded the world that even in war, one human choice can change history. The bell stayed silent, because it had already spoken enough.